Is the Artemis rocket a waste of money? Welcome to the 2-Minute Podcast. Today we have Jim Kennedy, the former director of NASA's Kennedy Space Center, the main NASA launch and operations complex. While director, he oversaw many high-profile launches, including the Spirit and Opportunity Mars rovers and 4 space shuttle launches. I'm very excited to have you on, Jim.
Thank you, John. It's an honor to be with you.
We only got 2 minutes, so we're going to get right into the questions. I want to start off with a hot topic right now, and that is the Artemis moon rocket. Many people are saying that it's a waste of money, that we should defund NASA, but I looked into it, and NASA already gets a very small amount compared to other government programs. What kind of benefits does NASA give to the American people, and is the Artemis rocket a waste of money?
Yeah, NASA gets 0.4% of the federal budget. So the numbers are not big by the grand scale. It is not at all a waste of money. I am very excited that we are finally going back to the moon. The American public is excited. You can sense it when people talk about Artemis. There's a lot of ways to measure the economic benefit. One, of course, is spinoff, of which we have about 50,000. Kind of a standing joke, but there's a lot of truth to it, is Neil Armstrong had a choice. We could either develop portable power tools for him, or he could drag a 250,000-mile extension cord with him to the moon. Probably about 150,000 people employed. Jobs is certainly a big part of it, and it spreads across all 50 of our states. It's not just Florida and Texas and Alabama.
You oversaw 15,000 employees while at NASA. You were very respected as a leader. I want to know, what did you learn about leadership while in that position?
Leaders are not always on the receiving end of goods. They have to turn that organization upside down and provide goods to the people that work for them. The one person making decisions, leading, has such a great leverage. That person can bring a respect for the values that you want represented by your people.
You worked at NASA's Neutral Buoyancy Laboratory. As a scuba diver, that place is so cool. Could you just tell me more about it?
The whole idea of neutral buoyancy is to bring an astronaut who's in the suit filled with air, and he would normally float to the top, but you put weights on him. So when you take them down underwater, they don't float up, they don't sink down, they are neutrally buoyant. The closest thing we can get to simulating zero gravity. I was an engineer in a totally different field, but I would go over on a periodic basis and dive with the astronauts. At the bottom of the tank, we might have a mock-up of the space shuttle, for example, and they would go through some of the practices of things they will one day do on orbit, but they get the benefit of practicing it in a close to zero-G environment of a neutral buoyancy tank.
I think I can say objectively you've had a very successful career. Do you think luck or hard work played a bigger part in your success?
Let me start with an expression that I use often, and that is, the harder you work, the luckier you get. Luck definitely played a part of it. There's no question about it. You work hard, you get yourself in a position to inherit some of the benefits of that hard work.
Well, I think that's a great note to end on. Thank you so much for coming on, Jim. I really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure, John.